welcome back to my channel. My name is Devaney, and today I'm bringing you installment 2 of my monthly reads. Since we're all friends here and we're a couple videos in, please hit that like and subscribe button, and on with the books. So this month it got a little busy, and honestly I started a lot of books that just really weren't good. So I ended up completing 5 books, and I'm gonna let you know how I felt about those books. So this month I kicked off the month reading a Christmas book. The first book I read this month is called The Christmas Pact by Keeland and Penelope Ward. So I figured a great way to kick off the holiday season, a quick book about Christmas, and it was free on Kindle Unlimited. Like I said in the last video, if you haven't gotten a Kindle, what are you waiting for? Anyways, quick summary about the book. There's this girl and her name's Riley Kennedy. She works in an office, and there's a co-worker who also works there, and his name is Kennedy Riley. All the time, people are getting their emails confused. Naturally, Riley gets annoyed, and they've never met, so they're not friends. It's just an annoying co-worker that I don't even know. Then they end up going to some holiday Christmas party or something of the sort through work, and they finally meet each other. And here they decide, like, I don't like you, you don't like me, but let's come up with this Christmas pact. They're going to pretend to be dating for the holidays. So she's gonna go to her family, bring him along, and then he's gonna bring her home to his family. And by New Year's, we're all back to normal, hating each other. In, true Hallmark Christmas fashion, some drama's gonna ensue, and ultimately they're gonna fall in love. Like, before reading this, this is where this is going. So ultimately, it was a good book. Like, I gave it about a 3.5 out of 5, but it just got really slappy in the middle. I don't know if they just didn't know how to wrap this up or they got bored, but in the middle, like, things are going great, they're falling in love, they've met each other's families, and then I don't know, like, it just went really weird. They broke up, but they're not really dating, so some sort of resolution's happening, and then I don't know, I think the writers just like hit their word count and were like, bye, we're done with this, and it just quickly wrapped up the book. I don't know how they got back together, but it happened, and then all of a sudden, fast forward, we're a year later. It was so weird, but it's a good story. Like, it's a great love story, and aside from that little muddled mess in the middle, it was good. It's the first Christmas book of the holiday season, so really, hopefully it can only go up from here, but I recommend it. And like I said, it's free. If you don't have Kindle Unlimited, it's probably gonna cost you like under $10, $4 or $5, and that's what it's worth. So the second book I read this month is called The Worst Best Man by Sosa. It's also a book that I got on Kindle. It was part of the Kindle Daily Deals, so under $3 or under $5 or so. Again, a love story. This month I really wanted to get some really easy books. Like, I've hit my book goal for the year, and I'm just gonna sit back and relax and read books that I can enjoy aside from my book club books. Quick summary. So the book starts off with, what is his name? Max. Okay, the book starts off with Max. He's waking up hungover. Tomorrow's supposed to be his brother's wedding, and he's the best man. Checks his phone, gets a text from the brother, and the brother's all, hey, thanks for your advice. You're right. Shouldn't marry her. Bye. So now he has to go and break the news to the bride. So he goes out, sees the bride, her name's Mia, and he's like, hey, look, sorry, my brother's gone. And then the book flips, and we're back in the present. Mia's now, ironically, a wedding planner, and she gets this really great job opportunity, but she kind of has to interview for it first. And so she walks into this interview, and who does she see? Max and his runaway groom brother. She panics, doesn't know what to do, pretends she doesn't know you. They end up having to work together, and she picks Max so she can get this job as like this wedding consultant type thing for this company. Obviously, she hates him. Like, you're the guy that ruined my wedding. You told your brother, don't marry her. And so the book's good. Like, it was going great, going along. It was kind of funny. Like, I did laugh out loud at a few parts. And then we get to the middle. Mia realizes she's falling in love with Max, and Max realizes he's falling in love with Mia. And then wild, crazy sex ensues. A lot of books, people have sex in the books. It is what it is. But this was excessively explicit for the book. Like, the book is, cutesy, rom-com-esque kind of book, and it was so weird. It didn't add anything to the book, because you could have added a sex scene without, describing everything. It didn't really take away from the book. It was just like a slap in the face. But that aside, all's well that ends well. I think I ended up giving this book a 3.5 out of 5. Again, really easy read. If you're into what my friend Sarah likes to call smut reads, the middle's for you. I mean, you're gonna get through that fairly quickly, and there's still a whole half of the story to go beyond that part. Like, they have to resolve the whole thing and see if she gets the job, blah, blah, blah. But I liked the book, and for that cheap of a price, you can't beat it. So the next book that I read is the only physical book that I read all month. This one is called The Other Woman. It is a Reese's Book Club book. Like I've said with the New York Times bestseller list, like, I think it's just a really low bar that you have to hit. I think it has to do more with being the best seller. That doesn't necessarily mean you're getting a good book. That means you're getting a book that's popular, I guess. But Reese's Book Club, great reads. This is maybe my 3rd or 4th Reese's Book Club book of the year, and they don't disappoint. They're not necessarily, like the best book I ever read, but they're not bad books. So Reese Witherspoon, you know your stuff. This book, didn't know what it was about, but I tend to judge a book by its cover. And the cover looked great, and Reese has yet to steer me wrong. And the price was good and needed to, hit that free shipping quota. So I got it. I assumed, without reading, it was gonna be like another book like The Wives, where you have a couple, there's a husband, a wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and this extra woman comes in and all this trouble ensues because she's trying to steal her man. No, not this one. This one, The Other Woman, is his mom. So this is spoiler free because this is literally what's on the back of the book, but Emily chose to be with her boyfriend, Adam. They fall in love. Things move very quickly. Like, it seemed like they were together for a really long time, but start to finish, we're in 2 years, give or take. But she meets him, he wants her to meet his mom. She meets his mom, and his mom's a jerk. Like, his mom hates her. She pretends to be nice, and then when she turns around, it's like, you didn't tell me this, that's not what I said. Then she just feels like she's crazy, like she's trying to tell this man, your mom's trying to get in between us, and he's like, no, my mom's a perfect saint of an angel, and you need to get over it. So this book, though, it was really good, but because I read all those other books earlier in the year, I thought we're going along the same line. I thought I knew where we were going, and it was a slow build. Like, I knew where we were going on this train, and it just took a really long time to get there. And then I was wrong. Then it hit that climax, and I was shook. Like, there was a huge surprise, and by the time we got to it, I was so disappointed because I'm like, honestly, like, there was such a slow build. It took us so long to get to this climax. And then there was another twist. This book is a double twist. We got to the ultimate climax, and I had to rush to finish this book now. Like, forget that slow build of the past. Things went wild. It was crazy. I did not see it coming. I did not see the end coming. The more I think about it, I actually really like this book. Like, I would recommend this book. I actually rated it a 2 out of 5, but now that I'm talking about it, I think it deserves better. Maybe a 3.5, maybe a 4. Like, it's not a 4.5 by any means, but I was just probably in a mood the day that I judged it and gave it that 2 because it took so long to get to the point. But Reese will never steer you wrong. Go get this book. The 4th book I read this month was our Redheads Book Club book of the month. It is called The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This book, New York Times bestseller, has rave reviews. Like, if you go on Goodreads, Amazon, who cares? 5 out of 5, life-changing, best book you ever read, holy grail of all the books. I hated it. I hated it. And I'm in the minority because I looked on Goodreads and I went through so many reviews, and I could only find maybe 3 people who felt the way that I felt. This book, they say, like, the tagline that you see everywhere is, a life no one will remember, a story you will never forget. And it's true. It's a story that I won't forget. The main character, her name is Addie LaRue, and she's back in the 1700s somewhere in France. And she just thinks there's more to life. Like, in her little town, you're born, you grow up, You get married, you have kids, you die. All in this just little itty bitty village that has population small. She just thinks there's more to life, there's more to see, there's more to do. She's never been out of this town. Her dad's taken her out of the village once or twice, but once she hit a certain age, her mom said, no, you gotta learn to cook because you're gonna be a wife. Her parents set her up, she's getting married, and the day of her wedding, she's like, no, I cannot do this. I'm not gonna end up like everyone else in this town. So she runs away, goes to the forest, and makes a deal with the devil, so to speak. So she's here in the woods after she ran away from her wedding, praying, 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 doesn't realize the sun goes down, and finally someone answers her prayer, and for some reason she didn't realize it's dark, but she's praying to one of the bad gods, and they cut a deal. The deal is you're not gonna belong to anybody, and then when you're done with this life, you give it up. And when she said, I don't belong to anyone, it means no one's gonna remember you. So lucky for her, she gets to live forever and gets to experience all these great things, but she can't even say her name, nobody knows her, and she has to go through life like that, just being kind of a shadow. So she makes her way from the 1700s to 2014. She finally meets someone and he remembers her. You know, the book was good. It was beautifully written. The characters were good. I just hated it. It took so long to get anywhere. There's 6 parts and each of the 6 parts have 13 chapters. I read it on my Kindle, so I didn't realize how big the book actually was. And then I saw someone else reading it online and like, this book is thick. I just was not anticipating that. It's so descriptive and flowery, and that's just not where I am right now. I did not want excessive description. I probably won't read it again if I ever have a choice. I gave it a 3 out of 5 because as much as I hated the book, I can't deny it's not horrible. And you know what? I think I'm in the minority because every single person online has had their life changed by this book. Don't take my word for it. You might like this book. Give it a go, but that's that on that. And then the last book that I read this month was a YA young adults book. I wanted a really easy book, a palate cleanser from the treachery that was Addie LaRue. I decided to finally give a go to All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. I've seen the movie on Netflix, so I just had no desire to read it. It's adorable. There's a girl in high school, her name's Lara Jean, and she writes 5 love letters to the 5 loves of her life. She'll love somebody, but to get them out of her system, like end this crush, she'll write a letter and put it in a box in her closet. Somehow, the letters get out. She's already like addressed them and everything. The book is very, very similar to the movie, and the whole time I'm reading the book, I'm picturing the movie. But the book actually isn't the same as the movie. The movie wrapped up the story in a nice little bow so you could get to the sequel, but it's not a cliffhanger. The book is a for real cliffhanger. Like, the book ends mid-sentence. It was really good though. Like, if you haven't seen the movie is 10 out of 10. You absolutely need to see it. And the book, you won't regret it. If you need a palate cleanser, like a really easy to read book, it's good. It is written like a 16-year-old. Like, there were some sentences that I was saying, like, that doesn't make sense, but I guess if I was 16, that might be how I talk. I don't know. I don't discount the book if you've seen the movie though, because it is a little bit different. With the book, you get more context too, because you see Lara Jean's inner thoughts where she's second guessing everything, and it's really good. I definitely recommend this book. I don't know how much it is, and if you go to buy it as a physical copy, it's probably not going to be on sale because it's so popular, but they do have it in a box set if you do want to get all 3. What I'm currently reading is going to be the next 2 books in that To All the Boys series because I really need to know how this story ends. And also the 3rd movie in the series does not come out till probably 2022 at this point, so I need to wrap up this story. So that's all the books that I read, and I actually want to hear from you guys. If you have read any great books that you want to recommend, please let me know in the comments. If there's any book that you want me to read myself and maybe give a review, also let me know. And as usual, please like and subscribe to this video. You can also follow me on Instagram, on my Bookstagram account, as well as my personal Instagram, and I will see you in the next video.